I just had like kind of a bad day at work, and I was like, do I just walk in and go talk to Curtis? Like, do I just walk over there? Like, some of the best jobs I've ever had was just knocking on a back door.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I thought about it, and then I was literally driving down the street going home, passing Ever, and Jason Chan walks out of Ever. And I see him, and I'm just like, that's Jason Chan.
I Am Consciously Curious, a podcast for those that are searching for meaning and fulfillment in their lives. My name is Victor Chan, and I'm on a mission to find out why people do what they do. I've interviewed white-collar to blue-collar, entrepreneurs to passion projects, and life is just too short to not produce meaningful work. Thanks for tuning in. We're live. Hello, everyone. We have Chef Mitchell in the studio today from the Gavroche, the new school to Jason Chan's old school.
I love that. That's great.
And there's not too much. I couldn't find you're a little elusive in the sense of it was hard to find a lot about you.
One would say maybe I'm a mischievous child.
The lineage spans. There's probably things that I'm missing here, but Boka, North Pond, 16, Roister.
Yeah, those are the heavy hitters for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to Chicago from Wisconsin when I was like 17 years old.
See, that I did not know.
Yeah, I graduated high school and kind of ran away. Didn't like really run away,
yeah,
but I ran away to a city that loves food.
Okay. But I feel like there was a post that talked about you cooking at an earlier age.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was cooking at the age that I was able to like reach the countertop. Mm-hmm. Like cooking was my escape.
Were you a latchkey kid? Like, were you kind of left to your own devices in a way? Like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. My parents got divorced at a really young age.
Okay.
And it was just me and my sister. And
older, or younger?
She's older.
Okay.
But I, being the male, I guess,
sure.
Kind of took on the role of I got to take care of my family.
Okay. How many years older?
She's 4 years older.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
how old were you when the divorce happened?
I was like 8.
8. Okay. Sounds good.
So I kind of learned how to cook based off of necessity.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I used it as an outlet, kind of to like hide, kind of to, not focus on school so much,
okay.
Focus on something else, not focus on my life, focus on cooking and ingredients and food. And
whereas, what would you say the average teenager in your neighborhood was out and about, running around?
Yeah.
Playing football, baseball, catch, like all that stuff?
Yeah, they were all sports, and I was reading cookbooks and watching Food
Really?
Network. Yeah.
Were there TV shows that you were watching? Previous chefs have mentioned like Yan Can Cook. And
I mean, I love Emerald.
Emerald, yeah,
Emerald's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mario
yeah.
All the Iron Chef, the old and the new,
right,
the whole
right.
thing. That's great. Yeah, I used it as an outlet, really, and then I liked it.
Okay.
And it was the only thing in my life that held kind of some substance.
Okay.
And from there, I was like, culinary school.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin doesn't have really any of that.
Sure.
And the restaurant choices are bars, pubs, that kind of thing. And it was not what interested me about food.
Okay.
It was the artistry, the creative, take something that's raw and nothing and make it something amazing and awesome.
I learned the word, I'm probably mispronouncing it, nouvelle the other day.
Nouvelle cuisine, yeah.
So did you have that ethos back in the day when you first started? Like, what were you plating? What were you making?
Oh man, it was like Food Network shit. Like, I'll be honest, like it was stuff that like you see on Food Network, like 30-minute meals for Rachel Ray and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't cooking anything crazy.
Okay. And was it for yourself and your sister, or just?
It was for my whole family.
Like, oh, wow.
Like my mom would work multiple jobs.
Oh, okay.
And I'd cook dinner, basically.
Okay.
She'd come home and there'd be dinner on the table.
Sure.
I'm sure there was like a love-hate with that because there was like, I guarantee you our grocery bill went up after I started cooking.
I mean, but did she complain? Did she say like, I would have made this and I would have made that?
No.
No.
I mean, I'm sure she loved it. Didn't have to cook dinner. I mean,
so was it, you finished high school and you're just like, I got to get out of here?
pretty much.
Okay. Was there a home ec class in high school?
Yeah, that's actually the craziest part. I took all of the cooking classes in high school.
Yeah.
To the point where they sent me to a tech college.
Oh.
Like
during school though?
During school.
Oh wow.
I would like get on a bus or my mom would pick me up or something and I'd go to this tech college and take culinary classes.
Was that a first? Did you like set the trailblaze for that? Or?
Yeah, they didn't have anything set up for that. It was just I didn't want to take any other credits.
Yeah.
I didn't want to I took pottery. I took all the other art classes. I had to take obviously the regular, gen eds and whatever, but
yeah,
I just wanted to cook.
Who are you surrounded by? Like people that were older than you? Or?
Much older, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of like kind of a intro to culinary school type program?
It was like, yeah, I would say that's a great way of putting it. Like it was like intro to what culinary school would be like.
Yeah.
I actually got a full ride to that school.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
I came to Chicago.
You felt like you got everything you needed out of your time there?
I just felt like for the career path that I wanted, there wasn't any restaurants or a food scene that I felt was something that I could, kind of leech onto and be like, I'm going to learn something out of this.
Was there a chef you were looking up to at that time?
I was just like, really for me, it was the closest big city, which was Chicago.
Really? Okay.
And the very obvious people who come to mind are like Grant Atkins.
Yeah.
At the time, 2012,
wow, okay.
Grant was, on the up, like he always is. But it was like Grant Atkins, Hermaro Cantu, like a lot of the molecular gastronomy chefs really held a lot for me.
Okay.
Which is crazy because now I don't really feel that way. But
yeah, sure.
At the time, as a young kid, obviously, science is interesting.
Yeah.
So food science is even more interesting if you love food.
Yeah, I just caught up with the brothers from Mez Foods. They're using mesquite, the pods from the mesquite plant, the tree, to make an alternative chocolate. And he's a food scientist, so that his background is chemistry.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, but also not too many people complete culinary school.
I didn't complete culinary school.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
okay.
No. I mean, most of the best chefs in the world never even went.
Yeah.
Or are dropouts. I don't think school was ever really for me. I never really I got good grades. I paid attention. I was a good kid. But my brain was elsewhere always.
I don't know where my brain was per se, but I definitely floated through school.
Yeah. So when I went to culinary school, the sad part I think for me was because I took all those classes in high school and went to that tech school is the first 6 months of going.
It was kind of a repeat?
It was a repeat.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that I looked like an asshole to a lot of people because they would the question be asked. I knew the answer.
Yeah.
And I don't try to be a know-it-all or anything like that, but that's definitely what I was coming across to other people at culinary school was.
Well, did you ever have a conversation with an instructor or a mentor about how you might have come across as hey, you could tone down the arrogance a little bit, tone down the confidence a little bit?
I don't think so because that was the restaurant industry. That's still being a chef.
Okay.
Arrogance is kind of part of it.
Yeah.
Being confident is part of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So and
for most people, it's probably difficult. It's a new environment and it's intimidating. It could be overwhelming if there's so many new things and moving parts going on at the same time.
And honestly, for me, my reaction to I went to Kendall, and this was over 10 years ago.
Okay.
And
was it in the city by then though?
It was the North Branch location.
Okay.
And at that time, being a chef was really hyping up.
Okay.
It was everyone wanted to be a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. Food Network made that thing where everyone wanted to be a chef. I was going to
ask, what did that? And Food Network probably did that.
It was the celebrity chef
celebritize the chef. And so when you go to a restaurant, you're now thinking of the chef rather than the restaurant.
Pretty much, yeah. So everyone wanted that. So I was surrounded by people with that same ego. But the difference was the technique wasn't there.
For most people.
for most people.
Sure.
So it was like, I guess I was bullied. I was bullied a little bit in culinary
Because they knew that you could handle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was more of a like, I was the competition. I guess that's the best way.
So
to put
wait,
it.
bullied by other students?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I was pretty alone.
What? Wait, what? So they saw that you had this.
Instead of trying to like, hey, how'd you do that?
Right.
It was like, what the fuck?
How did you do that?
Exactly. No, 100%. It literally was like, why can't I do this, but you can, and you started school at the same time I did.
Sure.
But it was just, I just was already cooking.
Yeah.
And wanting to be a chef for like 5 years.
Okay. So did you ever ask any of the instructors for like the next thing?
I did.
Okay.
I actually started doing like cooking competitions at Kendall.
Oh, wow.
I never actually went to any of them because of my grades. Because I literally would get A+ on practicals and fail the test.
Oh, wow. So there were written tests too?
There was written tests.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I could tell you how to make a bechamel or make a bechamel, but then writing it down.
Oh, interesting.
Or that's a horrible example. But like
now looking back, do you wish things would have been different? Like, do you see the value in having the ability to know the technical know-how in the written form?
Oh yeah, 100%. I see all the value in that.
Yeah.
More so now in the executive chef position than ever.
Sure.
But I would say you can definitely get as much of an edge going to work at a restaurant. You just need to find a chef that you look up to.
Yeah.
And just like, I want to be like him.
Yeah, exactly.
And just follow that path and everything. Like kind of almost copy paste yourself.
Sure.
You almost have to like become like a...
Yeah, you're emulating.
Yeah, you're emulating.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like a lot of, like even Jason says this, and it's a great way of putting it, is like, I'm kind of like a Frankenstein.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I'm the better sums of all the people I've worked for.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the worst sums. I don't know.
Or just the sum. You're the sum.
I'm the sum of the people I've worked
everyone.
for.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I worked for Grant Atkins. I'm a little bit like that. I worked for Lee Wallen. I'm a little like him. Andrew Brochu. I'm a lot like him. Like, there's, like, I look back at my career and I see the people I've worked for, and I was like, yeah, okay, this made sense. This was good. I would probably have never have had the same career if I stayed in culinary school.
Okay. So how long? When did you have that realization of like, I might need to just start working?
You know, I mean, I was always working. That was another thing that was kind of interesting, is part of culinary school. I was already working at a restaurant because I paid my way through school.
Which it ain't cheap, right?
No. It's super expensive.
Wow.
It's like going to private school.
And I'm sure, was your mom supportive of this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My whole family was.
Okay.
I think they thought that I would probably move back.
Oh, no.
But it's fine. But no,
Have they visited since then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
But yeah, I think people think that culinary school is going to put you in line, but it doesn't.
Yeah. As far as set you up for certain opportunities?
It teaches you the basis.
Yeah.
But you need to put the initiative in to repeat yourself.
So do you see a lot of people that say that they want it and the actions don't meet the desire?
You're gonna lose your mind. About 70% of the people,
Is it really?
About 70% of the people I went to culinary school with don't cook anymore.
Don't cook it. Oh my gosh.
Don't cook at all.
Do you feel like there's something about culinary school that sucks the fun out of it?
I would just say that, like,
to a necessity though.
Yeah, I mean, people, like we said earlier, people went into this wanting to be a celebrity chef. That's what they're like. I want to be a chef. I want to be famous. That's not true. Is it possible? Of course, we've seen it.
Yeah,
but that's not. There's so much work involved.
Yeah,
it's not an easy job. It's not an easy lifestyle. It's not an easy industry. So if you go into it as like, I'm gonna make $1 million,
going in for the wrong reasons, yeah.
Good luck.
Right.
Like, you have to be kind of nuts. I'll be honest. Like, you kind of not fully there to want to do this.
Do you think that concept and theme is even more present these days with the next generation?
I'll be honest, I'm kind of struggling with the next generation.
Yeah, well, so it's interesting. It's like what makes the previous generation, I don't know if hungrier is the right word, but willing to persevere or put up with more.
I would say my generation and the generation
prior.
Yeah. We were all taught that the only way to get anywhere was hard work.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that disconnect has kind of happened, but for me, like, the only way you could be a good chef is by putting your head down and listening to the person prior and absorbing as much information as possible and applying it to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And this current generation, it seems like they just want to plate fancy food and make millions of dollars.
Yeah. I'm sure you empathize with the concept of like trying to make ends meet, though, right? It's like free stages are out the window. Is that a thing still?
I think there's still probably free stages.
Okay.
But a lot of the corporate companies have gone away from that for liability reasons.
Okay.
I kind of agree with the free stage still.
Yeah.
That's my generation was that.
For how long? How long are you willing to work for free?
I did it for 3 months.
5 days a week, 3 months.
Yep.
If not 6 days a week, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these are what are these 15-hour days? Like what are these?
It's normal restaurant hours.
But not. Would you consider that a privilege to be able to do that? Like how do you pay for rent? How do you get food on the table? Like
it's definitely a privilege.
Right, okay.
I would say 100%.
That's what I mean. It's just like
you definitely have to either
people are
have
struggling
money or have help.
Yeah, yeah.
I was lucky to still have my family.
Understood. Yeah.
But I think it's almost necessary, because I'm not saying like if you're looking for a job you should have to like work for free.
Yeah.
But I don't think, since the culinary industry is such a hands-on industry.
Is there a role that has replaced free stages then? Like is the line cook equivalent to that?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It's more of the interview process now.
Okay.
Like a stage is an interview process.
Sure.
So like, at least for me it is.
So would a stage be doing things that that lead up to becoming a line cook? For
a stage, for me, I kind of throw you to the wind a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I kind of like, hey, go work saute. Here's your station partner. Go learn saute. Like, if you can't do the job from day one, you're never going to be able to do the job. So I might as well see from day one if you can do the job.
Okay.
Like, I know, like, repetition matters.
Yeah.
You're not going to be perfect right away.
Yeah.
It's not going to be amazing, but if you should know how to sear a steak. You should know how to do that. You should, like, there should be some pre-existing knowledge of cooking. If there isn't, you should tell me that. Like, you should be like, oh, I don't know how to cook at all, but I want to work here. Like, that'd be great, you know? But if you're like, I'm going to be a chef, okay, now my expectation's a little higher.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if you've worked 2 years in the industry, if you come up to me and you're like, I want to be a chef, I'm going to just be like, okay.
Show me.
Prove it.
So with them, is just cooking at home the best place to be learning then these days, or?
Well, I think kind of.
Yeah.
Staging's great. You can literally do a day stage and pop around the entire city. You could set up a stage for every restaurant in Chicago.
Yeah.
And just go around, and then you know all of Chicago.
Do you know anyone that's done that?
No, that's wild. There's like 3 million restaurants in Chicago. But I kind of did it when I was young. Like there was a week that I did. Alinea was 7 days, so it was 2 weeks. I did a 7-day stage at Alinea.
Okay.
I had a stage at Acadia, a stage at Roister.
Okay.
Which I eventually worked there.
Yeah.
L2O. Like, I literally like set up like 15 or 20 Michelin stars.
Yeah.
And went staged for 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But not everyone can do that.
No.
But it's the best way to see as much of the industry as possible in a short amount of time without having to work there.
And through that phase, like, did you discover certain aspects of quote unquote Michelin quality food or quality restaurant that you wanted to aspire to at that point? Like, did you start to see nuances and differences between the Michelin places?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. They're all kind of the same. They're all very different.
Yeah.
And the all kind of the same part, I think, leads to the items that get you a Michelin star.
Oh, wow.
Because like if you start to like compare and contrast,
Yeah.
the contrast is the food. The food's not really the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't get a Michelin star. But the service style, where you put your forks and stuff, is all very similar.
Okay.
So if you start to pick up on the nuances of that, you start to kind of think in that mentality, and everything starts to become, why do I put it here? It's the why. It's no longer we do this. It's why do we do this? And I think a lot of people don't think that way.
Through your stages, were people receptive to answering questions, or was it constantly head down?
No, not really.
Really?
No,
I'm sure you're like
a lot of those
brimming with questions.
A lot of those restaurants, it's shut your mouth, do what I tell you.
Don't fuck up.
Don't fuck up. Be clean. Like, it makes you sound super like aggressive, but they're aggressive. I mean, those restaurants are aggressive. It takes a very strong mental person to want to go work at one of them.
In a way, it weeds you out.
Yeah, it weeds you out fast.
Yeah.
So fast. So quick.
I'm sure maybe it was a little easier for you because of how much you want it. But I can imagine it being tough for many people to keep an open mind and be observant while not trying to fuck up.
Oh, I mean, I fucked up all the time, man.
Sure.
Like, it's.
But how do you? And then when you do fuck up, how do you not let it get to you? You know, take it personally, so you never fuck up again. But
100%.
But how do you move forward? You know,
I'm not very good at that.
Oh wow.
I will take myself out back and beat myself up, literally. Like,
oh, wow.
Like I'm pretty hard on myself. And I think most of the best chefs are. Like, you take all of your ups with a grain of salt, and you're down with like everything.
Yeah.
Like going, oh, that was a great dish. Who cares? What's next? Oh, that sucked. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's probably part of that is you have to be hard on yourself. You have to be. To be the best version of yourself, you have to be hard on yourself.
Is that a little mind fuck when someone fucks up and they're not hard on themselves?
I would think so. That's a little like oh, you don't care. That's kind of how, I mean, that's really how I would look at it. It's just like, if you can't see your own mess, how are you supposed to clean it up? And I always say cooking is 90% cleaning. So.
Okay. So tell me then, through Kendall, as you continue to work, I mean, what places were you working in while you were at Kendall?
I worked at Nelcoat, which no longer exists. It was on Randolph and Green Street.
Oh wow.
It was like a club slash
Fulton Market area.
It's Fulton Market.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, club slash pizza place slash oyster bar. It was very interesting.
Okay.
It was a very cool experience. I cooked for Mike Tyson and Nicki Minaj and
oh wow,
a lot of cool people. But I was just a baby, man.
Yeah. So what?
I was like 17 years old.
Wow. On the line then, or where?
I was working pastry and garde.
Okay.
And then eventually I was working the raw bar and shucking 1,000 oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still have a love of oysters, or is it?
I love oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At what point did you want to leave or part ways with Kendall?
So I got my internship at Boka.
Okay.
So I started my internship. I worked there for 6 months for free. And
was this after the series of stages you did previously?
No.
Or those stages came later?
Those came later.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So how and did you interview anywhere else before Boka, or was Boka the first place?
No. So it was basically Nelcoat, and then I worked at Girl and the Goat for a little bit.
Okay. Man, what a time.
What a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then school kind of took over for a little bit, and then I did my internship at Boka.
Okay.
Got a job straight out of that. And then that's kind of when the downfall of Kendall happened.
Okay. What about the internship opened your eyes to like, I want to continue working here?
Well, it was the first real reaction or interaction, more so, to fine dining for me.
Oh. Okay.
Boka was like kind of in a transitional period.
Yeah.
It was when Giuseppe kind of left.
Oh, okay.
And they brought in Lee to do his thing. And so I got to see that transition, which was really cool. I got to see the restaurant close, concept,
Yeah.
reopen,
Wow.
retain a Michelin star.
Wow.
Like, and I was so young, man. I was like, I was nobody to them.
Yeah.
Like, I was working at Garbage Day Station with 4 other cooks because that station was a monster.
Okay.
Like,
and is that salad? What is that?
yeah, it's like
Okay.
cold starters. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I just like, there's so many notable time periods just at Boka alone for me. Like,
Do you stay in touch with any of them these days?
nobody works after COVID. Everyone's kind of gone.
Like out of the industry?
Not out of the industry, but it's just like everyone's jobs have floated around a lot.
Sure.
And like even Lee is doing his own thing, but like Boka was awesome, and that kind of set the pace, I think, for me.
So when you got the job, did you stay in that role? The
Yep.
Grand Marché? Okay. Okay.
I was just so green.
Just happy to be there.
Yeah, I was just happy to be there. I wanted to work.
Okay. But when you got the job, were they then more receptive to your questions?
I mean, they were always receptive to the questions.
Okay.
It's not really until you start to get into like the 2 to 3 star restaurants where it's more of a, here's the recipe, you should know how to do this.
Okay.
Or
So do they expect you to spend outside time or extra time dialing it in? So you're ready to
they
go
expect
when
that
service goes?
No, it's more of a, they expect every knife cut is better. They expect every recipe is better.
I like
so
that.
it's like
Iteration.
everything you do, the next time you do it, it's better.
Yeah.
So it's like this constant
Improvement.
like improvement. That's what the expectation is.
Oh, that's great.
That's even like my expectation for myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's great, but it can be better. And then even that could be better. Like, it's
Sure,
just this
sure.
constant strive for perfection.
But is there an underlying satisfaction
There's
of
a
like
little- there's a little bit.
or good enough? And perfectionism is not attainable.
No, yeah, but it's not attainable. That doesn't mean we can't come very close to it. I would say that there is a point where you're just like happy with something. I mean, you're like, that feels right. And that's kind of where I try to cook to. I kind of cook to, like, for my cooks, I always tell them to season to the salivation level, season to the point where your mouth is watering.
Oh, wow.
Or like when you're plating something, like just try to cleaner, tighter, nicer. Like, I just continuously that reminder of like, you can always be a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer, a little more organized, a little.
Yeah, I'm sure you notice it even in how people carry themselves.
For sure.
How someone stands.
Oh yeah. Yes. 100%. If you're
Yeah.
slouched over a little bit, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else to reflect on with your time at Boka? And maybe as you're...
I think it was just really it was just so eye-opening.
Okay.
It was just so
Of
like
what, the possibilities?
yeah.
Okay.
Like of seeing really high-end ingredients and being in an environment where everyone's like pushing through that wall and wanting to be better, and just the mentality. Like at the time in that restaurant, it was, let's be better. And I was still so young, I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't really understand what I learned at that restaurant probably until now.
That's interesting because I felt like you embodied it.
I totally did.
Yeah.
I wanted to be them.
Yeah.
Like, I saw those badass line cooks cooking service, like perfect sear, perfect, quenelles, perfect whatever. And I wanted to be them. And nothing would stop me. And I guess that really embodies my career. Was if it wasn't working, I was going to make it work.
At what point did you realize this was a team sport?
I think almost immediately.
Okay.
You can't do
Like
this
through
by
school?
No, I think I just knew that.
Okay.
You can't do this by yourself.
I know.
Even like being an executive chef, I'm like the lowest on the totem pole. I might be the top, but I'm the lowest.
Or willing to do everything.
Well, you got to be.
Yeah.
But like, I see my cooks. Honestly, our dishwasher is so much higher than me right now. Like, He's great, man. It's just the passion. Like, it's almost like I was like, where'd that go? Because for me, like, I'm passionate, but like that was like, you are passionate.
Yeah, I mean that's probably missing from those that are striving to be that celebrity chef. It's not realizing that this is a team sport.
I think there's people who are just built that way. Like for me, like I was meant to cook. I can't think of another career path I could ever do. And I think if people who know me would agree, like I make things look way too easy. So like, I think I'm just meant to cook, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. I'm good at it. I like it. But I think there's people who are just meant to cook, and there's people who want to do it, but are maybe not there.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you just don't have the it, I guess.
I don't know. But maybe it takes longer for certain people.
It might, you know, it might just be. And for me, it was fine dining. It was always fine dining. So maybe it's just not that. Maybe it's just you gotta.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the setting. I don't know.
Maybe it's the setting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a focused cook and you're a lax cook. I don't know, but it's fine.
Well, it's in your head. It's not fine.
It's not fine.
It's not fine. Not fine here.
No, so I think food should be serious.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It's and then it's like it's just food.
It's also
food,
it's
but
food.
it's just food.
It should be.
Isn't that?
You should take it seriously.
The juxtaposition.
But you can also be fun. You can also have fun with it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about Gavroche is like you can go there and have a burger, and
burger
some
too.
frites, and then you can or you can take it up a notch and have a terrine.
Yeah, a carrot terrine, your chartreuse, or a ton of caviar.
Yeah.
Or an endless amount of
That
truffles.
how do you say it? Ouf arpege.
Ouf arpege. Yeah,
That was crazy.
I love that dish. I think that's by far our signature at this point.
I think so. So how, like, at what point did you start to realize you might have to walk away from Kendall? When you were learning more from Boka?
It was definitely like I wasn't learning anything.
Wow.
At Kendall.
But what about of things to come? Like, what if maybe just not in that class, but what about future classes?
It was just like it was like 2.5 year
That's it, huh?
program.
Yeah.
I would think I was there for a year and a half.
Oh, okay. So
I was
made
there
it
for about halfway.
Oh, wow.
I made it through, stocks, sauces, and soups all the way up through like protein.
Okay.
And then really what was like, I probably should have finished, but it just didn't make sense to me. I just wanted to be in restaurants, and it was really that I was already working. I guess it was the mentality of I was already a line cook at a 1 Michelin star restaurant. I've already moved up on stations. I've already done that.
Yeah,
like
I understand.
I just didn't see how another $20,000 worth of school was gonna help me.
Yeah.
And
at this point, were you living on your own in the city?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not easy.
So it was like it was more the financial part, I think.
Okay.
Really for me. But then I was also like, it was like, what was I gonna gain out of it? I was already getting awesome job offers. I was already working at
you were learning in the kitchen. Yeah.
I was already learning more.
Yeah.
I was being re-taught things.
Okay.
That I learned at Kendall. That I was taught wrong. So it was like,
oh wow.
Even though you would learn, like I've learned how to make hollandaise like 15, 20 different ways.
Oh, interesting.
So like you're going to learn how to make the same thing 100 to 200 different ways. Every chef you work for is going to have a different way of doing it.
Okay.
And you're going to be taught how to do it that way and expected to do it that way.
Oh.
So there was also that aspect. Is just like you can go to culinary school. You can learn like the classic way of doing it.
It just reinforces like shut up and learn.
Shut up and learn it. 100%. Just don't talk and absorb. Be a sponge.
That's so interesting. Did you ever find a situation where you learned how to do something better?
Oh yeah.
But did the dynamic with the executive chef hinder you from speaking up, or was there a vulnerable enough space? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Right. So now you're in that position now. So like creating that safe space. Obviously, we start with shut up and do the work. But what if? What if the team?
And I like the what if.
Yeah.
I live in the what if, I guess.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I have empowered my team to like, if you see something, say something basically. If you see something you like, or you see a technique, or you see something, anything, I don't care what it is.
That's you changing the culture.
I want to know. I want to see it.
Exactly.
Show me.
Exactly.
Because maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it better. Like half of this stuff is just like seeing it. Like like if you see fine dining, you see like a crazy texture or shape. They probably were walking around a forest somewhere and saw like a tree branch and was like, let's make a tree branch. You know, like that's crazy how like fine dining and creativity work.
Yeah.
Because it's
inspiration comes everywhere.
Everything around you.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
Like there is no limit. Cooking is limitless.
Yeah.
The limit is your brain. How far can you push yourself? But yeah, no, I've experienced that. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's true. And I'm glad you're changing the game these days. So then, at what point did you feel like you were ready for the next step beyond Boka? Did you like? So you were moving up in roles, and was there a point where you were kind of maybe in a role too long, and you weren't able to move up?
So Boka was so interesting. It leads to a very interesting transition in my life.
Okay.
I was in a 3-to-1 strong arm robbery. The victim.
You were the victim. Oh my goodness.
I was almost thrown in the Chicago River.
Oh.
It was all over an iPhone too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm from a small town that doesn't happen.
Have you heard of what crime can be like?
In Chicago?
Prior to that? Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay.
I knew Chicago, everyone everywhere is like Chicago's dangerous, yada, yada.
It is and it isn't, right? Like
it's dangerous everywhere.
You got to stay aware of your surroundings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy because I was on my way to school. I was walking to school. I had I think it was breakfast class. So it was like 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Walking to school. And I just get cornered, basically. And they're like, I'm stubborn. I've always been stubborn. So they're like,
you can't have my phone.
Exactly. No, 100. That's exactly what it was. I was like, no, fuck you. And they just beat the shit out of me and almost throw me in the river. Finally, they get my phone, and luckily, I fall forward and not backwards over the rail. But,
so did you actually fall over the rail?
No, I luckily fell forward.
Okay.
They literally was like this.
Oh, so your back was to the rail?
They were holding me, my legs.
Yeah.
And they were gonna throw me back.
Did they have a gun on you?
I don't know. Probably. Wow. But
I can't imagine.
It was just, I was cornered. There was Chicago River, 3 people in front of me. Oh. I was like,
no traffic or anything?
It was 5 a.m.
On Halstead?
It was Halstead and Chicago Avenue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right by Jerk right there? Kendall and Jerk? Oh my gosh. The Tribune?
Yep.
It's usually a busy intersection.
Yeah, at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
There was cars, but there wasn't.
Was a lot of it a blur now, or did you remember?
No,
a lot
I
of details?
remember it
you
pretty
remember it.
clearly.
Oh wow!
To the point where it's been 10 years, and I thought I saw one of them on the CTA train. I remember their faces and everything.
Yeah.
But so that happened, and I slumped into a crazy depression.
Oh shoot!
And I basically had to leave Boka.
Okay.
And I didn't work for probably 4 or 5 months after that. I was just going to school, barely going to school, and depressed.
So okay, so did they made it with your phone?
Yeah, they got my phone. They got your phone.
They got your phone.
Yeah.
Did they? But physically injured at all?
They beat me up a little bit. Yeah,
oh my God.
It was more mental.
Okay. To be honest, I'm a little surprised because of how much you wanted all this to let something like this put you in that state. Looking back, is that surprising to you at all?
It was. I think it was just so I was going to school full time.
Yeah.
I was working at a 1 Michelin star restaurant. I was doing culinary competitions.
Yeah.
I was living on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anybody in Chicago.
Oh,
I think
wow.
I was just so isolated that my brain threw me into this fight or flight.
Sure.
And I couldn't fight or flight. I was just stuck.
Froze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, I regret it. I think about it constantly. I'm
really?
just man, I fucked that up.
So for 4 to 5 months, that's a long time. What would you attribute to helping you get out of that?
Honestly, Emily, my wife.
Okay. Oh yeah. So where did Emily come into this?
Right there.
Oh. How? In what way?
I just randomly met her.
Oh.
We started dating, and she literally said to me, I don't know if I can date somebody who doesn't have a job, isn't ambitious, like all this shit that I'm not, you know.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
ambitious and I'm a hard worker, but
right,
at the
right.
time when she met me, I was like kind of shitty. I was
Oh,
depressed.
man.
I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Really though?
yeah, I was like literally like laying in bed all day doing nothing. Like, it was pretty bad. Like kind of semi-suicidal. Like, it was fucked up.
That is a little surprising. I'm taken aback by this, actually.
Everyone's shocked when they hear this.
I'm sure Jason's told you the story of chasing down people for cell phones.
Oh yeah. That man's indestructible for sure. But yeah,
yes.
I met Emily, and
okay.
that whole conversation kind of happened, and it kind of like, I was like, you're right. Suck it up, kind of thing. And out of that, I got a line cook position in North Pond, one Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
Worked there for a couple of years, and then it wasn't really filling this need I had, I guess. I wasn't learning really as much as I wanted to be.
Were you asking for different roles, or?
There just wasn't any availability.
Wow.
That was when I started to really notice the, like, here's your station, just put your head down and do the job,
Okay.
kind of thing. And I wasn't really into that. So that's when I like considered going back to school, because that was when I started to like not. I basically dropped out at that point. But I went back to school again. Still wasn't learning anything. I got a job at this restaurant. It's called Tet Charcuterie. That's on the far side of Randolph. It's no longer there.
Okay.
But it was a charcuterie based restaurant. They brought in a whole pig every week, broke it down, made house sausage and pate and terrines out of it.
That's pre-charc. Like there was a charcuterie era. There
this
still
was
might
like
be
right around that time period.
Or maybe it's seasonal. Maybe it's a summertime thing. But maybe like within the last couple of years, like charcuterie boards kind of blew up. Wow.
But that restaurant was really, really awesome. Yeah, they were unfortunate. They were in an area where no one knew they were there.
Okay.
So there was no foot traffic or anything like that. So
that's still early 2010s then, or mid 2010s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, around that time. And I was only there for like 6 months. I walked into work one day and they were like, "Today's your last service. We're closing."
Oh.
So I like can't get a break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it was cool, but luckily the last day, the contractor that built Roister was eating at Tet Charcuterie.
Oh, wow.
He hands me his business card, and he's just like, "Give me a call. I have a job for you." The contractor, the guy that built the place, "I'll get you a job." I was like,
because he overheard that conversation, or what? How did?
Because he knew that we were closing. It was like the last day.
Okay.
Everyone knew.
Okay.
And
what a nice guy.
What a nice guy, right? Ironically, he's also the contractor that built Gavroche.
Oh, and how did that happen?
I don't know how that happened.
That's a Jason thing?
That was a Jason thing. It was very, just very random, I guess. It's just
so. Wait, and when you saw this contractor again, like, did you strike up that conversation?
We immediately saw each other.
That's awesome.
I even like his daughter was a line cook at Roister.
Oh, cool.
So like I know his daughter.
So he's kind of like he cares about the industry. He's kind of plugged in a way. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So like I went and staged at Roister, and it was like that. I don't know how to explain this really. There's like that that kind of environment where it just like it feels like the room is vibrating and like everything's going right and like
yes, other chefs have described the same thing.
Like it's just like you're in flow state. I guess the best way to explain it.
Well, you're all cylinders and gears are firing.
It's just yeah. That was what Roister was.
Well-oiled machine.
And it was like day one.
Wow, of opening.
So
you're part of the opening team.
I was staging in the opening team. The first week.
Okay.
And then I got a job straight out of that.
Okay.
And that's actually where I met Francis, who you've done a podcast with.
Yeah. I love seeing all. He's crushing it too at the moment.
Francis is awesome. He's a great guy.
What was that? That's got to be so special to be part of an opening team. I know you saw the transition at Boka as well. Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better team mentality than an opening team.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure though.
Because everyone's like everyone's together.
Yeah,
like let's do this. Like let's make this happen, like, and everyone's on the same page. Everyone is as fresh with training as possible.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And you would expect a restaurant opening to be chaotic. I'm sure it was. I just probably didn't notice it. But even ours, like, it was pretty good. Like,
nice.
I think all of us were expecting something. And
yeah, Francis said the same thing.
It was good.
Yeah.
Like,
what was your role during the stage?
I just kind of stood
Onions,
there.
potatoes?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't really remember much of the stage outside of like being in the environment.
Okay.
And having like Grant was still there.
Nice.
So it was like a lot of chefs, a big team.
Yeah.
Lots of like, and they were busy from the beginning.
Yeah. When did you start observing the dynamic between owner, operator, chef, and like the dynamics between? Because I'm sure you were gunning for like that role eventually. It's just like it's interesting when like who actually has control. Right?
Nobody.
Is it the name on the
Nobody
restaurant?
has
Is it is it the executive chef? Is it people behind the scenes?
I think there's a lot of different
Yeah.
ways to think about that.
Yeah.
And in a way, the guests have all the control.
Oh.
In a way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're gonna delegate the menu by any means, but but like in a way, like, yeah, if they don't come in and you don't have
Sure.
money, you don't have business, like that's one way of looking at it.
Okay.
The other way of looking at it is it's just the dynamic of your restaurant. Who runs the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Who has the most responsibility? Because like, at least on our side, we all kind of run the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, we all kind of do it. Like, do I have my roles? Yeah. Does Jason have his roles? Yeah, of course. Do my cooks have their responsibilities? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we all kind of do it together. But to say who has the most pull, I don't think you can really say that.
I guess in the sense of partners. Partners that might not even show up day to day, that financially back the restaurant.
I don't know much about that, to be honest.
So you never had that moment of realizing it's not just the chef, there are other people that...
No, I know. I mean, I'm aware that there is.
Yeah.
I've never really had any interaction with that kind of situation.
Yeah, I think my first realization, and you worked with Chef Nick DeStahl.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to 16, but and then he worked at Grace for a little bit. But seeing that documentary was my first exposure to this kind of what could be tumultuous, turbulent relationship. Maybe not at the start, but when maybe the vision is no longer shared. And
I think you just really need to find your person.
Yeah.
You need to be almost a copycat in a way. And like,
and when you say find your person, what if,
like, in a sense of partnership,
yeah,
you both need to be in the same headspace.
Yeah.
If one of you wants to paint the wall red and the other person wants to paint the wall black, it's going to be hard.
Because you had your own private supper club.
Yeah, I did.
Right? And so
Yeah.
you've probably experienced that. But okay, so not to get too lost in the weeds in the future, but like with Roister, how long was your tenure there? Was your stay there?
It was like 2-3 years.
Oh, okay, that's
It was
significant.
a decent amount of time. I worked at Roister to the point where I worked every station.
Okay.
I left Roister because there was no other option, no other, like, I asked about a sous chef position, it wasn't available.
Yeah.
And I felt like I plateaued.
Okay.
Like, I felt like I learned so much that I eventually hit to a point where I was like,
That's so bittersweet in the sense of,
yeah, I loved working there.
It's a
too.
good
Loved the
sign
restaurant.
that there's low turnover.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's a good thing. But yeah, but like you want to continue to grow. So like how did you find you were looking for a sous chef position then?
Yeah, at that point in my career, I was pretty proficient in cooking.
Yeah.
I was a very good line cook.
And specifically, like, I wonder, like, at that point, were those skills universal to a type of food?
For Roister,
Or were you sticking to
a little
American?
bit.
Okay.
Roister, because it was wood fire.
Okay.
A lot of the techniques that were driven from Roister was wood fire.
Okay.
So it is only really a restaurant that has a hearth in it.
Okay.
But that's not really what I gained from them. I gained speed and accuracy because it was high volume for being what it was. We would do 300 to 400 covers.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
At a restaurant like that. And so it was really, what I got out of Roister was probably not what most people got out of Roister. I would say one thing was learning how to cook with fire, learning how to use that, manipulate smoke. Because and it sucks for me now, I think, because I'll go to a restaurant, I'll get something that's smoked, and then it'll be artificial, whatever, and I can tell because of Roister. Any chef that's worked on wood fire for a long time, you can see that you can taste the difference. There's such a difference.
Have you been to Asador Bastion?
I have not. I really want to, though.
Oh man, that's
on the list. There's a list. I just don't ever.
Of course,
go to the list.
Yeah. You gotta make time.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Out of Roister, I was looking for management.
Okay.
I was trying to.
So I didn't know that Sue is considered management.
Yep.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
You're basically second in line.
Yeah. Okay.
I was looking to move into that realm of the restaurant industry. I felt at that point that I can cook and could cook.
Good. Yeah.
And it was more the things that I wanted to do with my career. I needed to learn how to do costing and ordering and manage team,
so
manage mentality, and
Okay.
Sue and up.
Okay. Very cool.
And so I went. That's when that crazy series of stages happened.
So was Alinea the kind of intuitive next step?
Alinea was the first one on the list because when I said, I want to go do this, yada yada, Brochu and the Alinea group was like, why don't you go work at Alinea? And I went and staged at Alinea for 7 days. In the 7 days, the executive chef couldn't learn my name. He called me Roister.
What?
So obviously I didn't take that job.
Oh no. So treating people with
respect. And it was cool. It was
goes a long
awesome.
way.
I'm not saying like I didn't enjoy the experience. I would have learned a lot. But I mean, that's just okay. That's just not okay for me.
Yeah.
Like
I
respect
understand
is
that.
such a high level.
Yeah.
And if you want me to respect you as the executive chef, you need to give me at least my name, man.
Yeah. Within through 7 days. That's interesting.
7 days. Yeah. Their turnover is the opposite of Roister.
I know. I understand. So like at this point, is there a certain amount of grace that you give them?
Yeah, sure.
With the amount of turnover, I don't know. It's just like I'm sure it's hard.
I respect them. I respect the restaurant. I respect what they did. It just wasn't for me.
I understand.
Like I guess that's really what it was. Especially when, the following restaurant was 16.
Okay.
So I did Alinea for 7 days, and then I went to go stage at 16.
Oh, okay.
And 16 was such a different environment.
Oh.
Like Chef Nick, showed me that you can be a chef at a high level and not be an asshole.
I read that he likes to bonsai.
He loves
That's so cool.
Japanese culture. Nick's amazing.
So he had a life outside the kitchen.
Yes.
Okay.
As much of a life as you can have as a
Sure.
chef. Sure.
But some semblance of balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could really see it in him also. Like very relaxed.
Yeah.
Very controlled. Willing.
Yeah.
To take the time to show you and tell you and how I do things. It was fully the opposite.
Sure.
Of a lot of my career.
Okay. So you felt at home.
And I didn't get the job I wanted right away.
Okay.
But it was fine.
And it started with a stage too?
It started with stage.
Okay. And how many stages did you
I think that was like a day or 2 days.
Oh, okay.
That was a quick one.
Yeah.
And I started working lunch service.
Okay.
Which was a lot more dumbed down than dinner service at 16 was.
Mm-hmm.
It was lunch,
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a larger portion size and a little more relaxed. But I didn't let that, hinder my opinion of any of it.
Yeah, you're still learning.
From almost week one, I was trying to put food on the menu.
Like
I was trying
new
to
menu items.
Yeah, I was trying to create dishes and put up food for them.
How receptive was Chef Nick to that?
Honestly, way more receptive than I think he
should have been.
I worked very closely with his executive Sue, Larry,
Okay.
And because Larry basically ran lunch service.
Okay.
And so like I got to see what he was doing. And
Yeah.
I would make something and he would taste it. And
Yeah.
like, I was so surprised that they weren't just like, why are you doing this? Why are you wasting our product? They
encouraged,
they were encouraging
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
think they were really thinking they were encouraging it, but they were.
Why is that? Is that because it's kind of like on the hotel's dime, or are they pretty more cutthroat?
There was definitely that aspect of
Yeah.
16 where it was we were kind of lawless and didn't care about
pros and
money.
cons of
We
hotel
didn't care
restaurant.
about
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
We cared about putting out good food.
How fun.
It was awesome, but also it's not there anymore.
Oh, is it not?
No.
I didn't know that. Because I was gonna ask like, how has that?
Most
how
of the
has,
restaurants
like,
I've worked at don't exist.
Huh. I haven't been to North Pond, and I haven't been to Boka.
Boka's still there.
I know
North
Roister
Pond is
doesn't
something.
exist.
It's there, but it's something else. Roister is now fire.
Okay.
16 is terrace.
Oh yeah. It's called 16 on Terrace. or
Terrace
something like that.
16, yeah.
Terrace, yeah. Because I was gonna ask like how the political climate has affected the restaurant. It's like do people care about that? Do people that like, oh, it's so good, I don't care about like what people think about it?
No, that really had a lot of.
Oh, does it?
Had a lot.
That's
got to
be a
with that
mindfuck for
restaurant.
the executive chef.
I no idea how he felt about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that whole time period was wild.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. That wasn't that long ago, to
It
be
really
honest.
wasn't. Yeah, no. 16 was amazing. Like the food was awesome, the environment was awesome. It literally. They had a mantra, I guess, that I've kind of picked up, and it's push the dream.
Okay.
And it was like little middle of service, silent kitchen, by the way. And the sous chef would just yell, "Push the dream."
But people bought into
And
that?
all of us responded.
Yeah, chef.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, some of the coolest food, some of the best flavor profiles I've ever had came out of that kitchen.
Okay.
Some of the best people I've ever met came out of that kitchen.
Okay.
16 was awesome. But also, like, it gave me that freedom, that chance, basically, to, like, one, I think it helped with Mirepoix Gangster Kitchens.
Yeah.
In the sense of now I could promote myself as 2-star sous chef.
Oh, I
Mitchell Acuña.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's definitely that aspect of resume building. Yeah.
And that definitely helped with Mirepoix for sure.
Yeah. But you
'Cause
can't lead with that.
You can't lead with that.
Yeah.
No. And seeing the transition of 16 to Terrace was interesting. I actually was a heavy part of writing that very first menu for Terrace 16.
Oh, wow.
So like their original chicken sandwich was my chicken sandwich.
Oh.
And there was a carrot dish that was like burnt miso and satsuma mandarins, and it was crazy good.
Yeah.
Like the first menu for Terrace 16 was incredible. It was also being run by 2 Michelin star line cooks.
Okay.
Because the entire staff stayed.
Oh, wow.
So they closed 16. We did our own like big hurrah.
Yeah.
And then they renovated and
why is that?
they sold to a different investor.
Oh.
And the investor wanted to make money.
And that's what I mean. It's like realizing the dynamic between the artist or the chef and then people with money.
It's a line you have to ride. I think with Mirepoix, I got really good at that. You have to almost like kind of hold yourself to a line on the creative side so that you can make money.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you could cook whatever you want if money was an option, and that's what we were doing at 16. But to do it and make money is so different.
Yeah.
And it's the whole point. Like, we're not here to just put food on plates. We're here to make money.
Yeah.
It's a business.
If you can find some way
find the
to
cross
do,
section.
yeah.
If you find where that X hits,
Yeah.
it's magic.
Okay. So was Mirepoix a tasting menu?
Mirepoix was a 8 to 16 course tasting menu that was served out of your house.
Okay.
So myself and my wife would travel within an hour radius of downtown Chicago.
Wow.
We'd bring plates, serviceware,
Yeah,
cooking
okay.
utensils, pretty much everything.
Okay.
outside of wine glasses because they're fragile, and I didn't want to break them. And we would cook a 8 to 16 course tasting menu.
Okay.
Completely customized to your dietary needs and whatever you wanted from seasonality. We would send people like full sheets of ingredients that are in season in spring, summer, fall, winter.
Okay.
And they could circle or choose what ingredients they wanted on their tasting menu.
And then you make dishes around
And then
those.
I wrote the menu off of them.
There's a lot of creativity in that.
There's a lot of creativity in that.
Okay.
We didn't repeat a menu
Wow.
for 2 years.
That's got to be hard. That's got to be very hard.
2 years.
It's going to be very hard.
Fully
Is
new
that
menus.
is that because you had repeat clients?
We had repeat clients. It was also just me. I was just challenging myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just like, oh, this week we're going to do this. This week we're going to do this. This week. It was just like, I just kept changing it. I didn't even think about it. And then with the clients choosing the ingredients, they kind of ran that creative process.
Well, there's constraints can be helpful.
Constraints can be very helpful, especially in growth.
Yeah.
And for me, like when we started getting a ton of vegan and vegetarian clients. And I think it's because fine dining in Chicago doesn't really accommodate.
Okay.
Specifically after COVID, they really don't accommodate vegetarians. And so I had to like really quickly get good at cooking vegan food. And honestly started to realize how much of my food already is vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
And that's when this kind of, at least for me, this kind of switch happened in my brain where it was write the vegetable side of the dish first.
Oh.
And it was, I could focus on it being 100% vegan and then add a protein to it.
Okay.
And then from there, it didn't matter, but the flavor profile was the same. So then if I got a table that was one vegan, one whatever, all I had to do was write one menu.
Yeah.
And add protein to it.
Yeah.
And then make this
so
dish,
they were no longer the exception.
Make this portion size a little bit bigger.
It's very inclusive.
It's very inclusive.
Yeah.
But then also you get to experience the same dish your partner had. Outside of maybe the short rib.
Okay. Which is would you say that's still not the traditional school of thought? Do you traditionally start with the protein?
I think a lot of chefs start with a protein. A lot of chefs will be like, we're going to do lamb and then build off of that.
Okay.
I know there are definitely people who do what I do. But for me, I feel like you get the most nuance if you forget about what you're pairing it with.
Tomorrow I'm chatting with Junho Lee from Haru Haru. So yeah, wow, we have so many private chefs like in the city. It's crazy.
Which is crazy because we didn't.
Yeah.
When I started doing that, it was like me and like two other.
Okay.
And then I'm really happy that people kind of picked up the format.
Yeah.
Because it was almost needed. I didn't realize how necessary what I was doing was until COVID happened.
Right. So what is this 2019ish or 2018?
So Mirepoix, I don't know the exact date.
Yeah.
It's like 6 years as a run.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a long time.
That's a long time.
But that's from conception to actually opening. So there was about 2 years of that where it was
conceived.
Okay. And I was working full time at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then part time doing Mirepoix.
Okay.
And this is crazy.
Yeah.
The week before the pandemic hit.
Okay.
I quit my full time job.
Okay.
To do Mirepoix full time.
What made you feel ready? Just like the long list of clients.
It was kind of just. I was getting busier with Mirepoix, and the restaurant I was working at was kind of like, you need to choose, and I was like, well, I'm going to choose me. So
was it different from 16?
Yeah, after 16 closed, I moved to the suburbs.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
With Emily?
Emily was already living in the suburbs to finish grad school.
Okay.
So I moved to the suburbs to kind of save some money and to be with
what
her.
Suburb?
Around Lake Illinois.
Oh, so is that
far as
north?
hell? Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically the border of Wisconsin.
Okay. Closer to home.
Sure.
Gave your mom some hope.
But I moved to Wisconsin. I moved to basically Wisconsin to just be with Emily and kind of take a break from Chicago. And I worked at this Greek restaurant. I helped open a Greek restaurant and was working there full time. They were very open to letting me do a part-time thing, but they didn't know what that was going to be. And
on your own. Yeah,
on my own.
Yeah.
And it started off like, 1 or 2 every month or so. And
so were you calling off or?
No, I would like schedule it around them.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it was like 1 or 2 every month, and then it started to become Friday, Saturday, every Friday, Saturday. And obviously that's not
Where's
okay.
Mitchell?
Yeah, that's not okay. Especially I was like the sous chef, I was literally running the restaurant.
Was that a hard transition to go from 2 stars to Greek restaurant?
Yeah.
Mentally, I guess.
Mentally very hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I probably was a little more aggressive than I needed to be for the suburban Greek restaurant.
This food is fire.
I mean, what? Like, seriously, though, like the Greek food that we were putting out in Libertyville was insane.
Oh, nice.
It was insane.
Okay.
Like, we were for sure the best restaurant on the block.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, there was a point where they were like, you need to choose.
Yeah.
And it was scary because I was like, well, I have this month worth of reservations, but next month, I don't know. And that's part of being an entrepreneur. You don't really know
security. Yeah.
what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to be like, oh, okay, this week's good. Next week, who knows?
Yeah.
And I think I still kind of hold on to that now. Even with Gavroche, like I kind of take it one day at a time. And I think that's just who I am now, post running a business, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you could walk in and the restaurant be flooded. You could walk in and like, you really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just kind of live in this bubble, I guess, of like, you wake up and you're like, let's make today the best day we can.
Yeah.
And just try to do that.
What does Emily do that had her prepared for helping you out with Mirepoix?
So Emily's first restaurant job was Mirepoix Gangsters.
That's awesome.
She comes from a sound background.
Oh, very cool.
She went to school for sound arts and industry to do sound effects for film.
Oh, wow. So is she literally like behind the mic just doing?
She was
learning how to make these effects.
She was going to do that, yes.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Chicago doesn't really have jobs in that industry. Outside of commercials, and she didn't want to do commercials.
Okay.
So now she sells diamonds.
Get out of here.
Yeah, she sells diamonds.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So, how did finding the engagement ring happen? Like,
not great.
I mean, I'm sure she had a very clear idea of what she wanted.
No, I got the shape and everything right. I had one of our family friends actually build her engagement ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, like, when you start having these conversations about wanting to go all in with Mirepoix, I'm sure she was super supportive, but like, how did the conversation come about to like, how can I help you even more with this?
She already kind of was helping.
Okay.
It was kind of something we built together.
Okay.
She was front of the house. I was back of the house.
Oh, okay.
She did emails and customer relations, and I did sourcing and talked to purveyors. And
then what about any like building a team, like line cooks and service staff? No way.
It was me and her.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So we'd cook for 2 to 12 guests. I think the most we ever did was 20.
Huh.
We cooked everything together. We served everything together. We cleared. We did dishes. We did all of it.
Oh.
All of it.
Yeah.
By ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And if we needed help, we would, pay our friends under the table and shit.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I got to cook food I cared about, that I believed in.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me learn my own cooking style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was able to like really hone in things that felt were good to me.
Did you feel like you were doing Michelin quality work?
Oh, we were. No, we were. The food was crazy. To the point where there was definitely dinners where I don't think we really made that much money. There was dinners where we made a lot of money.
Like food cost was.
And there was some dinner, and it was just because of me. It was just me. I was just like, I really want to do this dish. Didn't care what the cost was. But there was definitely cost control in my head all the time.
Sure.
You had to. There was no way of running a business without
Mitchell, we have rent to pay.
Exactly. But sometimes it's just, you just got to do you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And so you also said it came at a time when breaking bread was much needed.
Yeah.
Were you referring to the pandemic?
Yes.
Okay.
So we were running Mirepoix full time for about a week. Oh, we were like a couple months prior to the pandemic, but full time for about a week.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow.
And my decision to quit my job was very like,
what did I just do?
especially when we had full books, and then
Okay.
pandemic happened and everyone canceled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So we like,
And if you're willing to share, like, what's that number?
well,
When you had to refund that number,
here's
you know?
the thing though, we didn't do refunds.
Oh, shit.
We did reschedules.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
okay. That's fair.
No, we used Talk actually as our reservation system.
Gotcha.
So it was very easy to just be like, well, we don't have a refund. So we don't really do refunds, you know? Because at the time that was Talk's kind of thing. It was kind of like prepaid.
Yeah.
If you sacrifice your reservation, you sacrifice your money.
I see.
And so it was easy to reschedule, but it was still very like, fuck.
Yeah, what do we do?
We don't get paid until we do the dinner. Like even if you,
at least the rest of it, yeah.
no, we don't get anything.
Oh, really?
So they swipe their card.
And Talk holds it?
They hold it until the date of the reservation.
Oh,
so if we move your date, we don't get paid until the date.
Okay.
So that was rough.
Would Mirepoix qualify for the PPP loan?
It did not.
Okay. Oh, you tried.
Tried.
You tried. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I tried for a lot of that stuff, and we were too small.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because that's what that was for.
Yeah, right? Small businesses. Oh, my gosh.
But, it was scary for about 2 weeks.
Oh.
Like the first 2 weeks of the pandemic where it was like mass hysteria. People were freaking out.
Yeah.
And then we started to get like 1 reservation and then 2 reservations. And it started to like tick up a little more. But we did start running into like some very questionable people.
In what way?
Like people who were trying to do parties of like 50.
Oh.
And like, or there was a meal. I've never seen Emily shut down so hard.
Oh.
And I know racism's around, but I don't think anyone really paid so much attention to it, I guess, until now. But Emily's Chilean, and this table was just super racist towards Hispanics.
Oh, man.
And she was like, I'm not serving them. And I was like, okay.
This is during service.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, okay, sit down. And I started just cooking, and we sent four courses basically at one time. And we finished their meal, we cleaned up, we left.
Yeah.
But just some of the experiences we had during that time, some immensely positive,
Yeah,
but some were also
yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I was asked to put cocaine in potato au gratin.
Bro, what?
Yeah. Obviously no, but I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Great. You can do it on your own, but yeah, sure. Or like, we were pretty sure that we catered a orgy.
Oh, okay.
We were pretty sure about that one.
Okay.
We don't know 100%, obviously.
Yeah, let's just clean up and get out of here.
Yep, but we were pretty sure about that one. There were some weird dinners.
Some part of me's not surprised.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's get a private chef for our at-home thing. No, but there's some awesome people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have come and eaten G, so.
Okay. You would think people that do private, bring on a private chef are motivated by like the food and the hospitality that comes with that.
I would say most
and
are.
then you learn that there's actually some interesting people out there.
Interesting people, yeah. Most are. Most people really were there because they wanted
Yeah.
a great meal in their house. Like one of them in particular that I remember used us for his 8-year-old daughter's birthday every year, and went all out, bought caviar service, got extra truffles. Like it was just great. Like this 8-year-old girl getting this crazy experience for her birthday at her house.
Sure.
In the middle of the pandemic where all her friends can't come. Like there were some really cool moments.
Yeah. Was it like at what point during this journey? It could be before Mirepoix. Did you learn about observing the little things?
I think I've always kind of been like that.
Yeah. And showcasing the little things to the client, like surprise and delight?
Oh, I mean, the little things are almost more important.
Okay.
The small details are what make things
Memorable.
The small details are what makes the big details matter.
And I can see some part of you being like, nope, just get the food right.
Yes, 100%. Sometimes you kind of have to just like, okay, you know.
This is getting a little too crazy here.
But like the little stuff, when you start to notice the nuance, people really react well to that.
Yeah.
They react well to being like,
they feel seen and heard.
Or like for me, for example, I recently found out about this, and I think it's awesome. We're definitely going to put it on the menu somewhere. But this farm is growing what they're calling forced rhubarb.
I think you made a post about it.
I think, recently.
Forced rhubarb.
They're literally growing rhubarb by candlelight.
Oh, wow.
And it's creating like the higher sugar content and a darker color and all this stuff. It's like giving the mentality behind like white asparagus, because white asparagus is white because it's grown without light.
I did not know that.
The only difference between white and green asparagus is color, is photosynthesis.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah, chlorophyll.
Science.
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. But they're growing rhubarb without light or by candlelight.
Oh, wow.
And it's crazy cool.
Yeah.
Texture, flavor, appearance. But no one, it's rhubarb, man. If I put that on the plate and gave it to you, you'd be like, oh, it's rhubarb. But if you go up to a table and you're like, here's rhubarb grown by candlelight, people lose their minds.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like was Mirepoix the moment where storytelling kind of
a little bit
came to the forefront?
Yeah. I don't think,
or you were presented an opportunity to do more storytelling.
I've I got to explain every dish. That doesn't happen. Not very rarely, unless you're at a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and that 3 Michelin star restaurant has to be like a 20-seat restaurant. Yeah. Does the executive chef come out and explain the dish?
Yeah.
Let alone serve it to you and then clear the dish. Like, I had so much opportunity to learn about people, and for them to learn about me, and for me to show them who I was through food. And yeah, storytelling definitely became part of it, because I don't think I ever spoke more to like purveyors, to farmers, to anything. Because like I would go to the farmer's market every week, get all of our ingredients,
and all that storytelling flows through you now. Yeah.
And so like for me, like I get really excited about a carrot. You know, like most people don't do that, but like for me, it's just like, wow, these patty pans are awesome, or this heirloom carrot, or like food makes me excited. And it's easy when the people who are creating or growing the food are as excited.
Yeah.
If they're passionate, it's easy to be passionate about what they're passionate about.
And that's what's tough. Like the menu at a French restaurant might seem foreign to someone who's not used to dining at a French restaurant, and it's kind of up to service to relay kind of the storytelling in terms that the consumer might be able to understand. Something as beautiful as like a terrine, I would not have expected that to come out looking like that by reading it on the menu. So it's a challenge for some. So long run with Mirepoix. When did this why did it come to an end?
Weirdly, COVID.
Oh wow.
COVID was very shitty for everyone.
Yeah. Did you guys ever catch it?
I got it like 3 times.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in a way, it was beneficial for us as a company. As we got way more popular after.
Supply and demand.
Yeah. Whether it was for a positive or negative, personally, I thought our clientele pre-pandemic was the clientele we wanted.
Oh.
There were more foodies, more I want a quiet, intimate dinner at home kind of people. And then with the pandemic, it was kind of anyone, everyone, which isn't a bad thing, but it's, when you're so specific to one kind of demographic, when it's everyone now, there's people who don't understand. But that really wasn't it wasn't exactly COVID that was the downfall. It was really just once it reopened, all the restaurants reopened, we saw such a dip in revenue that we couldn't really come back from it. And to be honest, we were both very tired.
Yeah.
Like we were working 7 days a week.
Was Emily able to leave her other jobs if she had other jobs?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a point where we were only doing Mirepoix.
Yeah.
There was a 2 to 3 year stint where that was our full-time job.
And how many days a week?
Technically 6.
That's wild. Why?
But really 7.
Why? I mean, what if you got to a point where you could embed it into like 3-4 days, so you have the rest of the week, at least half the week for yourselves?
We would have to have had rose our prices by a lot.
Right.
And we were already kind of competitive with Chicago. Like our 12 course was a similar price to a 12 course tasting menu in Chicago at the time. Now it's about double, but so we were like competing with Chicago restaurants without being a restaurant. So when the pandemic kind of stopped and restaurants reopened, we saw such a dip that it was like, okay. And we kind of waited to see if it would go back up, and it kind of plateaued a little bit. But it was really that we were burnt out. We were carrying 50, 60 pound bins up 3 flights of stairs to people's houses. Like every day was wake up, prep, write menus, answer emails.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Pack boxes, pack food, get in a car, drive possibly 2 to 3 hours.
You said a mile radius or an hour radius,
but like round trip.
It ends
2
up
hours.
becoming. I know, yeah.
And like we would go to like far north suburbs. I've gone to Wisconsin. I've gone to Indiana. Like we've made exceptions, but I think the farthest one we did, we have a very close friend of ours now who was a repeat client, but we cooked for her wedding in North Carolina. We packed everything up.
How many people?
It was like 12 people.
Oh, wow. That's special.
But we packed everything up and drove to North Carolina.
That's cool. That's really cool.
But it really came down to us being tired.
Is there a part of you that thought it might be just a part-time thing? Like, would you pick up another job and allow Mirepoix to be a part-time thing then?
It couldn't have been.
Oh, wow.
No, it was so absorbing.
It's like all or nothing.
Yeah. We even tried like looking for investment to open a restaurant. We found a few people, and then the COVID happened, and it was over after that.
Okay.
We were very close to having Mirepoix Gangster Kitchens be a restaurant.
Yeah.
Very close.
Oh, wow. I'm sure you still had a lot of takeaways and lessons from that, like leading up to that.
All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the closing was probably the hardest because I didn't realize how much of myself was that. Like I almost had like a moment of kind of not knowing who I was.
Oh yeah, when it's taken away.
Yeah, once we closed Mirepoix, I was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Like, how can I go back to a kitchen?
And the first few restaurants that I went to try to work at didn't go well. Like it was very hard leaving and then coming back. Like
what seemed to help get your mind right, or understand, or because it's an ego thing, right? It's like what did you do or think about to help you kind of get your head straight?
I think it was more of I need a job. I need to make money. I've always liked the restaurant industry, so I think but it was always like you have to find your place. So I kind of took it as I need to find my place, and it was navigating a post-pandemic restaurant industry that I didn't know anything about because I was so removed for it for so long. That was hard. Like when I started working at Bazaar Meats,
Nice.
I didn't realize how bad the job pool was.
Oh, how hard to find a job?
I heard about to get employees.
Okay.
Find
good
cooks. Yeah. I heard about it. I heard everyone talking about it.
Yeah.
But it was so different seeing it firsthand, trying to hire people.
And you were in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
And
Were you
I was sous chef.
Sous at that? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So that was like really eye opening. And then to see the back end and financials of a restaurant that size and seeing that they're not doing great either.
Wow.
And like wild walking back into the restaurant industry post pandemic and seeing how fucked up it was.
Okay.
And then that really was for me was just like, do I want to do this still? Like I really was like,
But you've never thought about anything else.
no, I
That's
know.
so
It was so
wild.
hard. And like, I really did, like, I considered like finding something else. I almost stopped cooking.
Oh,
I was so like, was Mirepoix the like ring? You know, like was that
like
the
I
end
did
of
everything.
it?
I did everything I wanted
Did
to
I do it?
Yeah.
You know, was that the end? But it wasn't
Yeah.
by any means. It was just the beginning. But
Yeah.
really, I feel very grateful for meeting Jason Chan.
Yeah. It, from a DM.
Yeah, from Instagram.
But what I guess like your paths didn't really like you missed each other by a hair like so many
times,
right? And so like when did you start understanding the gravity that is Jason Chan, or like the weight that he can that he has in the industry?
It took a while. I'll be honest.
Yeah. It wasn't until one of his team members from a previous restaurant took the EMT class. That is my like segue into Jason, and then Jason has been on the pod like 3 times, and she helped co-host him the first time, but that was like 2018. So and then he officiated my wedding eventually. So it took a while for you to be aware of that, but then when you started being aware of that, how did that play out?
It kind of was so like I was working at other restaurants.
Yeah.
Not going great.
Yeah.
Mirepoix was fine. I kind of got into this headspace. It was like, okay, it's not me. Like, I'm a hard worker. Like, I don't understand why this isn't working for me. And then I got in this headspace of it's me or nothing. Like, it's either I'm gonna go open a restaurant or I'm done.
Oh.
It was either I have to be the person creating the food, or because there a lot, specifically in the last 4 years, all I've been seeing in the jobs I had were, why are you doing that? That's fucked up. Like, what the fuck is that?
Like people are expecting more from you.
No. Like the execution or how they're managing is bad.
And these are your thoughts?
My thoughts.
Okay.
Like just being like, wow, you really said that to that person?
Oh, interesting.
That person just sexually harassed them and you're not going to fire them? Like that kind of stuff. Like just being like it's just so mind blown on how the restaurant industry is currently being
so you
run.
really wanted more control.
I wanted more control.
Yeah.
I wanted to not be that asshole screamy chef and mentor people and cook good food and have great days, like have good services. I didn't want to be a screamy yelling chef. I didn't want to work around a ton of people, because you're the greater sum of the people around you. I don't want to work around a ton of people who don't want to cook, who don't want to be chefs, who don't care about food. Like, and that's what a lot of the restaurant industry is now. It's just cooks to be cooks, cooks for a job. And you can't do that. You can, but but
it's palpable. You feel it.
Yeah, you can totally tell. Like I was to plate a dish and you were to plate a dish, and let's say you didn't care about food and I care about food, you are going to tell the difference. You can physically and everything, see it, taste it, smell it, whatever. You can see the difference of somebody who's passionate and somebody who's not. And my return to the restaurant industry was a lot of meeting a lot of people who weren't passionate.
Interesting.
And Jason's the opposite.
Oh yeah.
He's immensely passionate. And I don't really know where we first crossed paths.
Okay.
I have always known of Jason Chan for a very long time. Like right when I moved here, one of the first restaurants I applied to was Juno.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like almost immediately, I was one of the restaurants I applied to. Never got a response.
Like, was that a DM as well?
No, that was an email with a resume and everything. I found out later that he wasn't there at the time.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't, I was emailing a ghost, but, but like multiple places, like, so like I've applied to work at Sushi-san when he was there.
Okay.
Like a lot of like, of the places he's opened or worked at, I've tried to work at. So it's just kind of weird that that's been a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't really, like I said, I don't really know where I was like, or I met him or discovered him or something. I don't know where that started.
Yeah, but what about at the moment when you're like, is there anything we could do together?
Yeah, so that's a great story. So I was working at Blue Plate Catering as the research and development chef. I was writing recipes. So it was a pretty cushy job.
Yeah.
Worked 9 to 5.
You're just hugging that Fulton Market lane, like
you kind of have to. Like you don't really have a choice, unfortunately. That's where all the restaurants were, still are. But I was writing recipes for Blue Plate.
Yeah.
And it was a good transition from, because that was the job I got right out of Mirepoix was Blue Plate. So it was a good transition. They were really, they really utilized what I could bring to the table.
Oh, cool.
And I think they're pretty happy with the work I did for them.
Yeah.
That being said, I did realize through that, I was just like, I need to be at a restaurant. Like, this is a great pause. I got to figure out some of my personal life out and stuff.
Was it a lot more casual or chill being in catering rather than in a like a restaurant kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with that, it's catering. So the things that I like about food, the execution, the detail, that's not them.
It's interesting, but like, what about like on location, like during an event, like during a wedding? I can feel it being high pressure though.
It's high pressure, but what I'm referring to is the execution.
Oh, okay. It's a quantity game. It's a numbers game.
I've always been quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I still am with like even with Gavroche, like you can see it. And catering is the opposite. Catering is quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Even if they're trying to put out good food, which I believe they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a number where, even for me, if you go tell me go sear 2 chicken breasts, they're gonna be great. Go sear 500. Somewhere in the 200s, you're gonna tap out a little bit.
But that's a skill in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really just like, I can't. That just doesn't vibe with my brain. Sure. Like it just doesn't work. And I was standing outside Blue Plate, staring at Ever.
Oh hell yeah!
Contemplating walking into Ever, asking for a job.
Yeah.
And I just had like kind of a bad day at work, and I was like, do I just walk in and go talk to Curtis? Like, do I just walk over there? Like, some of the best jobs I've ever had was just knocking on a back door.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I thought about it, and then I was literally driving down the street going home, passing Ever, and Jason Chan walks out of Ever. And I see him, and I'm just like, that's Jason Chan.
Yeah.
Like, I recognized him immediately.
Yeah.
And I got home, and I started messaging him on Instagram.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
And it was just like hi, I'm Mitchell. Like, kind of not working anywhere right now. Would love to open a restaurant. Let me know if it was so vague.
Where are we? Are we 2022, 2023?
That was last year.
2024?
23, 24.
23? Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And we went and got cocktails after and talked a little bit. He asked me like who was chefs that I inspire to be like and some random questions. And I don't know if it's because my favorite food's Korean or that we like we both love French food. We both love that old school kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if that was the...
Well, he's been plotting, for a French spot for a while
he has
too.
Been, yeah. He's been waiting.
So kind of the stars
somebody.
aligned.
Yeah. Definitely the stars aligned.
Yeah.
I just so happened to be very nostalgic
that's the
to
thing.
French
it's
food.
Like, we appreciate that level of initiative, and that's definitely a tangible approach to or tangible sign of desire, right? One can just keep talking. I want to do this and do that, but like
and I'm sure I probably
going out there.
I probably annoyed him at some point. I'm sure, because I was like, I want to get out of here. Let's go open a restaurant. Like that kind of mentality. Like, and that doesn't happen.
Right.
I definitely have learned through this process to be a little more patient.
Yeah.
Which is great because I'm not a patient person, but it was still like I was like texting him like, so you want to go get lunch together? Like,
yeah.
Like, what do you want? Or when are we gonna go look at a restaurant? Like I was like probably
and
bothering
Jason
the hell out of him.
He's busy as hell.
Yeah,
he's all over the place.
I was definitely bothering him, but we went and had dinner, lunch a few times, and
wow.
Then one day he calls me. He's like, hey, can you meet me at this location? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I'd ride my bike up and standing in front of Wild Taco. Didn't know what to expect.
Is that the now
Yep.
Gavroche? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
And he's just like, I signed the lease. Yeah, I was like, okay. There was never this actual conversation about me being the executive chef.
Oh, wow.
There was never you're hired, you're the executive chef. I did multiple tastings for him at his house, for him and Heather, and I did one for Detox, for them to try the food, and man, I was nervous. Oh my God, I was nervous. That first tasting was horrible in my opinion.
Sure.
They didn't feel that way. I thought it was. I thought it was horrible.
Was Emily present or just you?
No, it was just me. She was there for one or two of them, I think, but she was working.
That's got to bring you back to Mirepoix, though. You know, in a way.
It felt like it. They literally that was so identical. It was so funny because like there was multiple times while I was prepping for these tastings, and I was like, man, I wish I didn't sell all those plates. Man, I wish I had that cooler still. Like all the stuff I had for Mirepoix, I was
yes
like,
and no. I mean, just
this.
for that, just for that.
I mean, in a way, I still wish we had some of the stuff because like I had a plate room at my apartment.
Oh wow.
Like 4 or 5 like mission racks full of plates.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you walked into our apartment, it was like a restaurant, storage, but a restaurant.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. So you never had that official conversation, but so then it was kind of like assumed or expected, or like you are now. Exactly.
It kind of just happened. It kind of was just like, yeah, you're the executive chef. And it was more so. I think it really stuck with me when he started using that terminology.
Yeah.
When he started like introducing me as the executive chef, it really started to stick.
Yeah.
I knew that was the role I was going for, but I don't know why I always thought there would be like you are now the executive chef.
Yeah. Was there anything that that you observed upon these continued meetings with Jason?
He's just so controlled. I like fully inspire to be much like him. So it's the drive, the discipline, all of that stuff. It's beaming off of him all the time.
Yeah.
Like just a figure of self-control. And like I said earlier, like you're always trying to inspire to be like the people, the mentors you know, and I could see that in him.
Like he lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Everyone's always like, talking about Jason Chan. And I think, a lot of people are jealous, but at the same time, it's like, he holds that.
Yeah.
He is that.
Yeah.
You can't hate on something that is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you see it it's countless number of times now, like the number of people that he has hugged upon entering Gavroche.
He knows everyone. It's to the point where my sous chef Jason Drakes is always like, everybody. It's all the time like that. It's hilarious. He does though. He does. Sometimes I wonder though how many times he's like, "Oh yeah, how are you? It's great to see you," and then turns around and is like, "I don't know who that is." I know I do it all the time.
Well, I didn't realize it when we were actually sitting there, but the first time dining with you guys, Justin Selk was there. What was that like? Because I thought of him when you said I almost walked into Ever.
Yeah. So I used to be very starstruck, I guess, specifically with Lee Wallen.
Okay.
I think it was because just how Boka kind of panned out for me, like post Boka,
Sure.
that whole Boka thing. I was just like, he hates me.
Oh.
Or like, it's not true. But like, I thought that like I fucked up so hard that I was, like, you know,
with what you were experiencing in your personal life.
Yeah. So I've always used, like, chefs used to scare me. They did. And I think that's a good thing. Like, I think your chef should scare you a little bit.
Well, how do you toe the line between respect and admiration but not putting them too high on a pedestal because they're human too?
That's a good point.
What if your heroes make mistakes?
That's a good point. And I think like through just maturing, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Working for more of them, maybe. That's kind of not been a thing for me now.
Mm-hmm.
More, or maybe it's just now being in this role.
But seeing how even Jason carries himself, it's just
it's just it's almost easier now to talk to people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that where you were going with? Did you get to chit chat with Justin?
A little bit, yeah. I guess now I see chefs walk into the restaurant and I see it as game time.
Yeah. Giuseppe, right?
Giuseppe was just there.
Yeah.
The last few weeks have been a lot of chefs.
Nice.
Which is exactly what we want. So.
I always wondered, it's like, do chefs make the time to visit other restaurants in the city?
I think it's more the ones of note they spend that they take the time to go to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for us, I think we're in that realm of nostalgic.
Yeah. Well,
specifically for the chefs of the restaurant industry.
Like I always ask like, who would you like to be validated by? And
for me, it's chefs.
Exactly. That makes sense.
I've been asked multiple times, like, what's the ambition? What's the goal? And you know, like, accolades are great, but cooking good food's better.
Yeah.
Like, just focusing on the ingredients and the food and the guest experience is better than whatever anyone can say about you. Because, and quoting Jason Chan, all of that is what we did yesterday.
Damn.
So it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It matters what you do today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys now have a brunch service.
We do.
Like that, but that means you're there all day. It's like, what is that? What has that been like?
It's been interesting. I've never worked at or wanted to work at a restaurant that has had breakfast service.
Okay.
And that's because I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
But it was honestly really fun writing a brunch menu.
It's a brunch menu I've never seen before.
It's very playful.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cook food that everyone else, I mean, I don't want to cook food anyone else is cooking.
Right.
And when it came to brunch, it was, I always think about how horrible brunch food is in Chicago.
Why?
I don't know why, but I always think about this. It's constant. I don't know why it's bad, but it is.
I love a good diner.
I love greasy spoon. Trust me, I love it. But that's not brunch. That's a diner. That's a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Think like patio mimosas.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but for some reason, the food is terrible.
Is it the food or is it the clientele?
I don't know. But it's always, you go to a brunch place, you get your eggs Benedict and the eggs suck and the English muffin's cold and
okay.
like it's just not executed well.
This isn't brunchy, but like the whole breakfast sandwich trend.
Yeah. And let's be honest, brunch is about alcohol.
Yeah.
It's about having, your drinks in the morning after your drinks last night. And so let's cook food that pairs well with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
But that being said, like, in the mentality that you're hungover, who doesn't want to eat a whole fried poussin? Like, really? Or, like, I love ham, egg, and cheese, but, like, why not do ham, egg, and cheese souffle?
Oh, okay.
Or, like, just take things and kind of spin it on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
And see where
playful.
See where it stops. See where the top stops spinning, Right. Like, or everyone wants bacon, eggs, and potatoes, right? So why not make an eggs Benedict that's potatoes, eggs, and ham?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's really just smart. I think we did a very smart menu.
Okay.
Like, it's playful, it's unique, it's different. But when you look at it as a whole and you kind of take a step back, it's thought out very well.
Okay.
It's small, which leads to our small, intimate restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to execute. Brunch is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's anything you're looking forward to with the dinner menu, or just Gavroche in general, or maybe just your life?
Very excited for spring. Gonna have some spring dishes already in the works.
Okay.
I'm just such a vegetable person.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, if you're still leading with veggies.
So tired of winter. I'm so ready for brightness and freshness and just vegetables.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So really, it's just we're gonna go more playful, a little more fine dining, a little more intricate, but make freshness, lightness kind of the message.
Okay.
Which you don't get in French cuisine. It's always heavy.
Okay.
So like for spring for me, it's gonna be light,
Yeah. Okay.
refreshing, but satisfying.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you've been learning from this experience? It doesn't have to be from Jason, but it could be from your team in general about running a restaurant. I saw that the team went to Schwa recently. I love that for you guys. Is there anything, like, any takeaways from the time spent?
I would say the more you can put into somebody, the more you'll get out of them.
Yeah.
I think I learned that the most. You really need to take the time to show people how you want something. You can't just assume.
Yeah. So that being said, is there anything, is there any way around staging? Like in an interview, is that just like, does everyone who interviews get a stage?
No.
Or okay. So there are certain things in an interview that would disqualify you from a stage.
Yeah, and it's just experience or your personality or something like that. Like if I don't feel like you're going to be a good vibe for the staff, it's a no.
Yeah.
Kind of higher for the person over the ability.
Okay.
Because I can teach ability. I can't teach personality. And being in an open kitchen, I can't have people who are, yelling and screaming and like swearing.
But that usually only comes out under pressure or under stress. So an interview is like best foot forward.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
But stage, right? Like
but also like if they come to their interview and they're not well kept, they're not going to be well kept on the line. So
that's true.
There's a lot of it, but the stage is really like, how do you set up your station? Do you have good knife skills? Can you clean? Can you see your steak? It's almost necessary. It's almost more of an interview than the interview. I think the interview is really just like, where did you work? Where are you from?
Yeah.
How old are you? Like, it's just so service level for a cook. And cooks are cooks. Cooks don't talk about themselves. They don't do anything outside of like we're all kind of misfits.
So then as the interviewer, do you give them space to talk about themselves? Yeah.
I try to just have a conversation.
Right.
Like, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
Like I personally hate that question. Like, if you were to do this podcast,
we've been doing this.
I know, but Mitchell, tell me about yourself. I'd be like, yeah.
This open-ended question, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a moment to get to know you a little bit, but all I care about is your ability. Like, you could be the greatest person in the world and not be able to cook. Or you could be the worst person in the world and be the best cook in the room.
Not to contradict yourself, but like you also care about who they are as a person. Yeah.
I care almost more about that.
Yeah. But and so then being the willingness to learn.
The willingness to learn is number one.
Yeah.
Like ambition, passion, and drive are that's like the secret recipe. Like, you want to become a chef, you don't have all three of those. You probably won't go very far. Like, I've met so many really awesome people that they're awesome people, but they're lacking the drive and the motivation, and they go nowhere.
So then how do you create a culture where people line up to stage?
It's hard to create a culture to have people do that.
It takes time. Word of mouth ends up being the strongest attractor.
And a lot of time for the attraction of a stage is food style.
Oh,
Like a lot of the restaurants I worked for or went to stage at, it wasn't, I want to go work at this restaurant. It was, I think I'm going to get something out of the food style.
Sure.
Or the chef who works there. Because a lot of times, especially in the bigger ones, like the high end restaurants,
Sure.
you're not working next to Thomas Keller.
No, but in
Like-
your space.
In my space, you're literally standing next to me. Yeah. Yeah, literally. That's crazy. Yeah. I've never worked at a restaurant where I was standing next to the executive chef.
Sure.
I've worked at like Roister, he was across from me, but like on the line directly next to them is such a different thing. I've even noticed that like with the cooks that I have currently and have already gotten rid of. That was something that one of them noted to me is just like, they're not used to being.
And they feel that pressure?
Yeah. It's almost,
couldn't
it's like not intentional, but it's micromanagement.
Oh.
It's a little hard for me to not be like right next to you and see you do something wrong and not say something.
So what, do you try to remove yourself?
No. I'm there.
Okay, you're there. Okay, you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
kind of like, you kind of have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be okay with knowing that there's somebody on your back all the time, basically.
Sure.
Like, I'm not a mean person.
No,
I'm not like aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all chefs can be. I definitely can
how
be.
do you share criticism?
I find doing it in the moment is the best.
Oh, as soon as it happens.
As soon as it happens.
Yeah.
And that can come across as good and very aggressive.
It's just business.
It's just business.
Yeah.
And I make it very clear from day one when you sign your life away that it's all business.
Do you give like, do you have the time to explain or have them kind of go through the mental exercise? So like, this is why it's bad.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's, I think, the benefit of me working working the line is I can, one, fix things immediately.
Yeah.
And then two, like, I can literally show you how to do it.
Yeah. And you can't teach the mentality of not making the same mistake twice.
No.
But then I wonder, as executive chef, if you've given the grace when mistakes do happen twice.
It's going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen.
Okay.
And the only way you learn is in repetition.
Yeah.
So you kind of do have to allow a little bit of space.
Very understanding of you. I'm sure it's very mature.
But there definitely needs to be a line to that also, where it's okay, you made a mistake twice. Okay. Third time, maybe not. Fourth time, definitely not. The fifth time, we're done. Like, and it's different if you make the mistake and you see why you made the mistake, or if you just keep making the mistake.
Yeah.
You keep fucking up.
Yeah.
Like, is it that you are fucking up and learning, or are you fucking up and fucking up?
Ignorantly fucking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I make mistakes, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've burned shit. I've
Yeah.
fucked shit up. Like, it's going to happen. It's part of it. We're not perfect. But again, it's that strive. It's that striving to be better. It's the, damn, I burnt that piece of bread. I'm not going to burn the next one.
Yeah. With your sudden exit from Boka due to personal things, I'm sure you've had people on your team have personal shit going on too.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I definitely have like come full circle kind of in my life
Right?
a little
Isn't
bit.
that interesting?
Yeah, and it's definitely been like, oh, that's what that's like. Okay, like, and I've definitely have thought about a lot about that, a lot recently too. Of like, man, was I like that? Did I do that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I maybe, I don't know. You know, I'm sure if I was to ask people I worked for, they'd be like, yeah, you sucked. But I'm sure they did too. Like when they were my age.
Right,
Like
right.
it's this constant
It's so cool.
cycle.
I don't even. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Okay. Do you feel like, where in your journey, like, do you still like you're just getting started, or where do you feel like you're at in the grand scheme of things?
I mean, I'm pretty young for the role I have.
Okay.
I think I'm perfectly positioned
Nice.
for the future.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I have another 30 some years of
Awesome.
being a cook.
But this is something you'll do forever too.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like 30 more years of like, okay.
Professionally cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but We'll see. I think I'm in the right place at the right time, which is not what the rest of our conversation has been around, if you noticed. Always been in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I feel very, very lucky, very fortunate. And I think the future is very bright, not only for me, but for Gavroche and the team itself. Yeah. I already see some of our cooks going on to doing bigger and better things with us.
And that's something you're also understanding, right? Just like it might be a stepping stone for
Oh, it definitely is. No, it is for everyone. Yeah. Even like you could say that for me. Like, will I be the executive chef of Gavroche forever? Probably. But is this the stepping stone to something bigger? Oh, absolutely.
Would you want to go back to something more intimate like Mirepoix, or
I would love to do some sort of fine dining thing.
Okay.
Like very intimate fine dining thing.
I mean, I know Jason's always working on something, but if it's completely, Mitchell and Emily thing, then
I think I'm very, I'm open to a lot though, because I love casual things as well. Like I love fine dining. Yeah. For me, it's the execution. It's that. But if you can take that and do something casual, you take your execution and make it casual. It
makes me think of Ever when they did Rev.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I would love to do something like that. Just like crazy, just sling units, but like really good food.
I mean, you're doing it right now.
I know.
You're doing it right now. You're doing the damn thing.
Doing it.
Is there anything else that you want to put out there or that we haven't chatted about yet? We did a lot. Yeah.
Come eat at Gavroche.
Yeah. Guys, God, if you haven't been to Gavroche, what are you doing? It's really nothing else like it.
I would say we're one in a million.
Really, like even like the other French restaurants, it's like it's not the same. Not because it's better per se, but like it's different and it's unique.
I mean, that's fully what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to be the 15th. French restaurant in Chicago.
Right.
Like, and I love all of them. Don't get me wrong. Like, one of my favorite restaurants is Le Bouchon. I love Le Bouchon. Jason, Like, I'll go sit there and eat. Love that place.
I hear the bar seating is great.
I've never eaten at the bar, but I love Le Bouchon. I love Obelix too. Like, it's a great restaurant. And I didn't go. We didn't go. Like, we went into this opening a French restaurant, but I don't think mentally for me, I went into it opening a French restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, it was just, let's open a restaurant. And
you were willing to do anything.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, through the conversations with Jason, we were going to open a French steakhouse, Spanish, Italian, French tapas restaurant.
That's interesting because his other location was on Halstead, near that tapas place. The name escapes me. Cafe Babariba, around that area.
So like through the conversations with Jason, it wasn't French restaurant.
Oh wow.
There was avenues.
Yeah.
But we both love French food. We do.
And you can tell. You can tell in the food.
Yeah.
You can tell. If someone's not following you, where can someone find you?
Pretty much just Instagram.
Just Instagram? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. By name?
Yep.
Okay. It'll be linked below, guys. Give Chef Mitchell a follow. Gavroche a follow. Visit in person. Try it out. Experience it. Hug Jason. And shake Mitchell's hand. And then, and then come back. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. All right.